because I'm from another country. And hey, this is a great system. And if I get caught doing any crime, I'll just go back home. Nothing will ever happen, because Mexico is so corrupt from the federal government that they have over there. Their government is corrupt. Mexico is not the poorest country in the world. I think it's the 6th richest country. People forget they produce oil. They're the 2nd or 3rd largest coffee producer in the world. They're corrupt. The money stays at the top. It doesn't go down to the bottom. The average education level there, I think it's the 6th grade, or maybe less than that. We're not getting the ones coming across the border are the most educated. We're getting the ones with the least education. Even in standards of Mexico, they can't even read and write, even their own language. And there's different languages. Those are the workers we're getting. Those are the people that are coming over here illegal. People say, well, why does the sheriff do this? That's not his responsibility. The economy is terrible. He should be working more on his budget, and yada, yada, yada. And if illegal isn't what law enforcement should do, what the heck am I supposed to do? Or that later on that day, you'll see them going back empty to get another load. The drugs are pouring in. They're not all from Mexico. They're from all over the world.
Have you prepared documentaries on this?
No, this is, but there has been others. I'm not the only one. The government knows this, and people that live there, which is probably public information, they've actually apprehended people from all over the world. People are flying to Mexico one way so they can come across. Why would you, if you were a terrorist, why would you want to fly in when you can walk in and you can carry all your equipment with you? I mean, seriously. And there's only 300 miles of fence. I think maybe 400 miles of fence.
They stopped that?
Please?
They stopped that fence?
Yeah, well, fence wouldn't do it anyway.
No.
They got to enforce the law. And the Mexican government is corrupt. And with what's here in the United States, President Bush didn't do anything either. This isn't just President Obama, it's President Bush. It's just not the Democratic Senate and the Democratic House. It was the Republican House. They had it all too, did nothing with it. They just left it all wide open. This is the worst economy in my lifetime. And what are we doing about it? The president sent, I think, 1,200, maybe 1,400 soldiers. They need 10,000. And they need to enforce it. I think they sent them with no guns or bullets. So the National Guard, and seriously. What we got to do, 70 to 75% of Americans, no matter where you are fed up. They want something done with illegal immigration. And something has to be done. And it's just not the Tea Party. It's the silent majority of Americans that want something done, and they're doing it. They're kicking these people out of office, both parties. People that think they've earned this. We've made career politicians out of them, and they do what the polls want to do. And here in Ohio, you haven't seen any of them come out either. But my goal is to get it a talked about topic, and it is. And I'm bringing it and drawing attention to it. People are talking about it, and Ohio is an industrial state. China has moved their opium trade to Mexico because of distribution points. It's easier to get it across the border. Dayton is a pretty major hub also. I-75 is a major hub. Don't think it's not in your backyard, and it's here. There's new drugs that the drug dealers are developing. It's called cheese, and it's basically got different ingredients in it to hook you on heroin and cocaine, and you buy it with your lunch money. Junior high kids, and it's not to make a profit, it's to develop customers. And here we stand. Lunch money. So here we stand. 72%, this is the shameful part, 72% of all illegal drugs in the world, I want to repeat that, 72% of all illegal drugs in the world come to the United States.
Wow.
72%. Which we're not addressing that either. Just say no isn't enough.
It's a cultural
So
problem.
yes, and supply and demand.
Yes.
Supply and
Get rid
demand.
of the
And then
demand.
you got the meth they manufacture. Mexico is we have it to where if you buy the amphetamines over the counter, you got to sign for them after so many. In Mexico, they manufacture them, and they have giant factories manufacturing this stuff and shipping it over the border. They pump these people that are running this stuff across the border full of meth and drugs so they can carry these packs over the mountaintops. And I mean, and then there's the death to the people that are coming here. They find hundreds of them dead on the border on this side. Doesn't count the other side. The ranchers that I talked to in Arizona, Cochise County is in what's called the Tucson sector. There's 5 or 6 border patrols there in the Tucson sector in Cochise County. Cochise County is, you know, it takes probably 4 hours to get from one end to the other. Densely populated, but a huge area. In the Tucson sector, they've started now with the roading border patrol. We went through one of the checkpoints, and the people that live there are very angry because they want the border patrol on the border. They don't want them inside because broad daylight, we're going through a checkpoint. Well, the illegals aren't going to, they have spotters. They were actually filming us when we were on the ranch. The rancher said, look over in those clumps of trees, they have spotters over there. They watch us all the time and they film us. We're filming them, he said, and they film us. So they have spotters, they know where you're at, they catch them, they voluntarily get deported back, and they're back the same day. They're not going back when they deport them back and going, oh God, I'll never do that again. They're going right back again. And it's totally out of control. The violence has increased. The rancher that was killed, I talked to ranchers, they're afraid to leave their houses. They have to have house sitters when they leave. They don't want to leave their women and their kids, their wives and their kids there. They have to have somebody at their house or their houses or their equipment gets burglarized. This is during the day.
I don't want Americans.
Yeah, and well, they're U.S. citizens.
Right.
They're our brothers and our sisters. And they were so proud that we came from Ohio to visit them, because what the other side tries to do is they try to paint you as a bigot or a racist, brown skin, red skin, blue skin, whatever, and they try to scare you off that way. This isn't a racist issue. This isn't a religious issue. This is an American issue. Our borders need secured. And if I have anything that I would say to the President of the United States, secure our borders. And to the Governor of Ohio, Ted Strickland, he said he would veto any legislation that came before him to do what the American people now I'm just the sheriff, but what people should do is, when you have Republicans and Democrats and independents, what we hire them to do is make compromise, make things work. But here's what they do. If you're a Democrat, you're over here. If you're a Republican, over here. And if you're an independent, you're way over there. And they do this. They don't talk to each other. They don't do anything. It's my agenda or no agenda. And when one party has it, that's what happens. I think it's almost better if they were just even, to where they had to compromise. They had to sit and talk, because you needed maybe 25% of the other party to get anything done. When one party runs it down one's throat, we suffer.
Right.
And that's basically what we have right now. Still the best place in the world to live. And we have soldiers that are dying and getting wounded and fighting for this country every day. And I tell people also, it's just not Mexico. I have people here from Mongolia, Russia, China. We deport them from my jail. They're from all over the world.
Right,
the majority of them. Please?
Right here in the county?
Oh, yes. Yeah, we have them from all over the world. In my jail, all over the world. And somebody said, well, why are you interested in just deporting people from other countries? I said, well, hell, if I could deport Americans, I would. But I can't find any country that would take them. Because they're sorry, they won't work, they're in jail. I have people in my jail 34 times, and they're like 25 years old. I mean, no, what country would want them? So, no, I don't.
They probably wouldn't take them.
No, they wouldn't take them. And it is. We need to fix our system. Pretty accurate.
Yeah,
that's very
right.
good.
Yeah, I appreciate those
What
thoughts.
What is in it for Governor Strickland to have a complacent attitude towards this? I don't understand it.
I feel that it's, I don't know. I've never talked to him about it, and don't know if I'd get an answer. That I think it's a party thing for him, party line. I don't know that. It probably comes from the top, their leadership, from the president, from Pelosi, from Reid, and and the governor, and that's it.
So it's a voting block issue, strictly.
Strictly a voting block, and
very selfish.
And they've all backed up, and they've circled the wagons, and that's what it is. And they have control right now, so that's what it is for the time being.
Seems like destroying the country, and I think they would see that.
They look through a different glasses than you and I do. Now, I believe that it's a lot of it has to do with the Latino vote. The Democrats are recruiting the Latino vote, and that's why the amnesty thing comes in. But I also believe that he doesn't support it, and you know what I know. So is it a bad situation we've got going on? Yes, it is. The United States is still the best place in the world to live. We just got to tweak our leaders sometime and fire them. And they forget whence they come. They forget that they aren't the almighty and the all-knowing. Us, the taxpayers and the citizens, we're not stupid. We can read and write, and we can fire them. They think because they have all the money and millions of dollars and all the lobbyists, and they take money from lobbyists, that they can run ads on TV and just print their message. I encourage people, don't listen to the message, that the propaganda that these people that are running for office put out in their ads. It's just propaganda. And he or she with the most money sometimes controls the propaganda. So there's lots of movements there to fire these people, and this is one of them. And I support them wholly. But we've got to get mobilized, and we've got to fire these people. And it just doesn't, not only in D.C., your city councils, your townships, I mean, your counties, your judges, your prosecutors.